Variety and Rolling Stone's Truth Seekers Summit, presented by Paramount Plus, is dedicated to honoring those who prioritize the discovery of truth. Curated by the editors of Variety and Rolling Stone, the collection of panelists at this year's annual summit showcased a remarkable lineup of documentary filmmakers, political journalists, and overall advocates for justice. The event featured thought-provoking discussions and insights from renowned figures such as acclaimed documentary maker Alex Gibney, comedian and host Amber Ruffin, the tireless crusaders behind the Unsolved Mysteries series, and many more. Key moments included a panel of political correspondents and anchors comprised of Abby Phillip, Yamichel Sindor, Katie Tur, Tony Dokuppel, and Jeff Bennett, who discussed the realities and hypocrisies of covering former President Donald Trump. CBS News President Susan Zirinsky also joined the conference to discuss the documentary We Will Dance Again. The event concluded with the presentation of the Truth Seekers Award to journalist E. Jean Carroll. Below is a recap of the conversations from the Truth Seekers Summit. Point 5 of the leading documentarians in the film industry gathered to discuss where the medium is, and where it's going. Alex Stapleton, God Save Texas, How Music Got Free, Rahman Ali Bug, Exposing Parchman, Welcome to Rap City, Fisher Stevens, Beckham, Adam Balalak, Telemarketers, and Lana Wilson, Look Into My Eyes, spoke in a panel moderated by Variety chief correspondent Daniel D'Addario. The conversation kicked off with D'Addario's question about how the filmmakers choose their subjects. Wilson, whose new film is about psychics in New York City, responded that, "You have to have this vision in your head you're running toward that is rich enough to sustain you for 2 or 3 years. It can't be simple." Stevens remarked that he hadn't been interested at all in David Beckham when asked to make a documentary about him, but I started digging and talking to people, and I was like, oh, this guy is not who I thought he was. Which is what a great documentary is. The panelists also spoke to the idea of objectivity in filmmaking, which they agreed is not possible, or even a worthy goal. Indeed, these filmmakers' personal perspective infuses their work. Describing telling the very personal family narrative at the heart of God Save Texas, Stapleton, herself a Texan, said, "It was through the community that we put together that encouraged me. It was giving me permission to tell my story." Telemarketers is a family story of a different sort, a wild and raucous journey kicked off by an experience Locke's cousin had years ago, and Locke said breaking the fourth wall was part of the fun. "We had to figure out how we were going to explain the old footage his cousin shot," Locke said. "We just embraced it and made it part of the project." And Bug described the way he connects with his subjects. "I'm a very emotional person. I'm very open. So I thrive on my connection with my subjects. I can connect with people because I see myself in them." On a day of connection and of celebrating the search for truth, these career filmmakers made for a major highlight. Host and executive producer of America's Most Wanted John Walsh and his son/co-host Callahan Walsh spoke at a panel moderated by Rolling Stone's chief research editor, Brenna Ehrlich, to discuss the revival of America's Most Wanted and their ongoing efforts in child protection and crime fighting. The conversation delved into their motivations, the evolution of crime solving, and their personal dedication to justice, rooted in the tragic loss of John's son, Adam, in 1981. John shared how the internet has since transformed their approach, saying, "The world became a much smaller place for these dirtbags," highlighting the show's global impact in capturing fugitives. Callahan Walsh expressed pride in following his father's footsteps, noting, "If Adam's song is to continue, then we must do the singing." Together, they emphasized the critical role of public tips in their success, with John Walsh reflecting on the program's legacy. "We caught 1,200 guys, more than any FBI agent or any FBI field office." The panel underscored their unwavering commitment to justice and their challenges in selecting cases to feature on the show. Some consider Nancy Grace to be the godmother of true crime. She started as a special prosecutor for the Georgia District Attorney's Office and has since created a true crime empire through her broadcasting career, novels, Crime Online website, and daily podcast, Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Grace joined Variety executive editor Tatiana Siegel for a fireside chat about her time working in the world of crime. Grace immediately made it clear that she doesn't see true crime as a genre. In 1979, her fiancé, Keith Griffin, was murdered shortly before their wedding, which inspired her to go to law school. Griffin's tragic death also made her realize for the victims of true crime, it is more than someone's entertainment, it is their entire life. For crime victims, it's not a genre. It's real. These are real people that are going through real trauma, Grace said. I know what it feels like to be a crime victim. I know what it feels like standing there at that burial site. I know what it feels like to go in front of a jury and say, this is what happened, and to know you cannot get it wrong. And at the end, you think you're going to be all excited and go out and celebrate. It's not like that. You just kind of go like, okay, alright, who's next?